We have reached a tipping point, folks. It's no longer possible for anyone, at least anyone with a functioning brain, to ignore Tesla autonomy. We're seeing a massive shift among analysts on Wall Street, even in the finance media, from completely dismissing the potential around Tesla autonomy, and I just mean they even don't want to talk about it, ignore it, or whatever, let's talk about automotive margins, to a wave of analysts who previously completely ignored this opportunity, now at least starting to ask questions. 2025 is the year of Tesla. No longer can anybody justify a myopic focus on their automotive business, their automotive margins, their vehicle sales quarter after quarter. Now, we've known this was coming for years. I've been talking about it for years. It's been my valuation model for years. The thing is, retail investors and people who consume content about Tesla are not people who move the stock price, unless a GameStop scenario number 2 plays out, where small fish in a very big pond and our individual purchases, even en masse at massive scale, do not move the stock. It's big money, big institutional investors, billions of dollars going in or out of a stock that tends to move things. For example, when Elon Musk was selling Tesla stock a while ago, you saw the stock implode. Direct result of some selling activity in large volumes, and then obviously there was a knock-on effect because Elon selling, stocks going down, people trying to get ahead of it, big institutions trying to get ahead of it. Next minute you have a feedback loop. Of course, that can also happen in reverse. And we're starting to see people ask questions that previously they weren't even considering. Oh wait, what if Tesla does launch Robotaxis in the next year or two? What if the Cybercab does successfully ramp? What if they really do click their fingers, do an over-the-air software update, and existing vehicles can start participating in the ride-hail market? What if? Now, as I record this today, I firmly believe there is still a massive disconnect between Tesla's valuation, what people are paying for the company today, its market cap, and its long-term potential. It's certainly true that there's a little bit, I think, baked in, I guess we'd say, in terms of Tesla's valuation for potential around autonomy, but it's a spec. I don't know how much longer that lasts. I'm seeing a huge shift in the last couple of months. Better late than never. People who previously just didn't even want to think about it, at least now asking questions. And we're also seeing actions, not just words, not just thoughts, not just questions. Brad Gerstner is a great example. The guys are managing, I think, about $20 billion of capital, publicly announcing that he'd sold completely out of his position in Uber and put those proceeds into Tesla specifically because of Tesla autonomy. If you read between the lines, Brad may be under the impression that Tesla has won the race to solve autonomy at scale and companies like Uber are fucked. By the way, if that's what he thinks, he's right. The numbers around autonomy are truly astronomical. The biggest cost in using an Uber, a Lyft, a taxi is the driver, by far. Obviously, operational costs, fuel, maintenance, and so on also at a small amount, but it's the driver that produces the vast majority of the cost to the customer. So if there's no driver, suddenly you have a product that is literally impossible to compete with on cost if you have a driver and your competing product is an autonomous vehicle that does not have a driver. Furthermore, if the actual vehicle itself is electric, its ongoing maintenance costs are significantly lower than an internal combustion engine because there's a lot less moving parts, less stuff wears out and breaks, right? This is important to understand. It's a double whammy. And the third element is, let's just say that this electric vehicle that's also autonomous happens to be produced by a company called Tesla who have specifically engineered it to be as economical as possible in terms of operational costs, wear and tear, drag, as economical as possible to operate. Now you've got a triple whammy. Literally impossible to compete on cost. This is where Tesla finds themselves at the moment. Now, I don't think it's yet dawned on most analysts exactly how dominant Tesla's position is. I just don't think they quite get it yet. In fact, I don't think any of them get it. They're completely ignoring Tesla's dominance, but now they're starting to think, well, maybe Tesla will actually solve autonomy at some point. I'm going to ignore the massive cost advantage and scale and the fact that they've designed this vehicle, the Cybercab, to be produced extremely fast, extremely affordably, be ultra efficient, ultra low cost. I'm going to ignore all that and just think, well, yeah, maybe they might do okay in autonomy. Let me think about them doing okay in autonomy. But sometime between now and the first Tesla Robotaxis actually beginning to operate, the gap between people's perceptions and thoughts about Tesla's future potential around autonomy and the reality has got to close. You can't ignore it that much longer. And we're starting to see the early stages. Remember, ARK Invest have a 2029 fair valuation for Tesla, which is 90% based on autonomy, of about $2,600 per share. Give or take roughly 6 times where we are today, less than 5 years from now. And it sounds absurd to say that. Most investors owning an index or even a stock would be happy with 20% per year. More conservative investors even 10. But we're talking roughly getting on the order of 100% per year for 5 years running. That's fucking crazy. And most investors, at least those with a lot of money, the ones that actually move the market, take the prove it to me approach. wait and see approach. I'll wait for the number so I can put it in my spreadsheet approach. And until there's a number to actually put in my spreadsheet, I'll just have to ignore it. It's crazy to see, but it's the way things are. 2025, the party's over. It's no longer going to be possible to ignore the implications of Tesla autonomy. They themselves are going to be ramping production in the tail end of the year on the Cybercab. Maybe it falls into 26. Who cares, bro? What's more important than that is their clear intention. They've signaled this to the world. They intend on operating Tesla vehicles, Model 3s and Model Ys, with a software update in the United States, in a few states, most likely beginning in Austin, Texas, or somewhere else in Texas, and then eventually in California, and possibly some other states before year's end. Assuming they're not late, sometime in the next 12 months, probably less, Tesla autonomy is going to go from doesn't exist, can't put in my spreadsheet, no numbers yet, not operating yet, therefore ignore, to holy fuck. I can see this transition in the minds of many analysts coming from a mile away. When the penny drops and they finally realize that autonomy is happening and it's going to be a crazy money printer, those managing capital, stewards of billions, if not tens or even hundreds of billions of dollars of capital, looking for places to invest, to find growth, are likely to pile into Tesla. Now, I don't know exactly when it happens, and I don't have a time machine. I'm just saying that's my prediction. As people finally start to wake the fuck up and go from completely ignoring autonomy to actually thinking about the implications to then seeing it actually play out, things could get batshit insane. Personally, I would have preferred to have been investing in the opportunity before everyone figured it out, but hey, that's just me. That being said, while autonomy is scaling up, people are flipping the fuck out. Absolute insanity, almost guaranteed. Just can't wait to revisit this later in 2025. I have a funny feeling, which is very unscientific, but I've got a funny feeling that what's going to happen is while everybody's finally starting to open their eyes to autonomy, you know what they're going to be completely ignoring, right? Yeah, the humanoid robot, which is going to ramp and scale a lot faster than people realize because they're going to be using a proxy to measure called autonomy. Oh, well, autonomy took over 10 years. So obviously the humanoid robot will as well, right? Wrong. The stakes are much lower for humanoid robots, as I've said. They're unlikely to mow people down, kill them, disable them, injure them. Instead, if a robot's kind of useless or makes a mistake, maybe it bumps into somebody in a factory, it's annoying, it trips over, you have to come help it. Cool story, bro. It's not life and death. The stakes are much lower, meaning Tesla can deploy their humanoid robots at a much more aggressive cadence than they have their autonomous vehicles. In the latest versions of FSD 13.2, mind-blowing stuff. If you guys haven't, go watch some videos of intervention-free drives in major cities in the United States. We're so close, it's a joke. I almost have a feeling that autonomy is going to create a massive distraction that blinds people to what's happening with the humanoid robot, which, as I said, is going to ramp even faster and move even quicker than Tesla autonomy. This is the story of Tesla's life as a company. Most investors, the big ones with a lot of money that move stocks, tend to ignore an opportunity for like 10 years. And then finally they realize, oh, fuck, it's actually happening. Like they said it was going to happen. Shit. Then the stock surges. Rinse, recycle, repeat. So after about 10 years of ignoring the potential of autonomy and Tesla's further growing unassailable lead, the data lead, the flywheel, the fleet of now 7+ million vehicles on roads, after ignoring that for about a decade, what was happening? Finally, I think they're going to start to realize that in 2025, while completely ignoring the humanoid robot. I don't think there's a single analyst on Wall Street covering Tesla stock that factors any potential future value for Optimus. Many of them don't factor in any future value for autonomy either. At most, some of them think about FSD and take rates, but they're not thinking about Tesla's cart of Robotaxi fares, never mind their own fleet of Robotaxis. But again, just to do the numbers really quickly, let's just round the numbers down nice and simple. Let's just say an average taxi does 50,000 miles per year. It's more, but let's say 50,000. Let's say you charge $2 a mile, which is on the lower end of an Uber, but whatever, round numbers. Looking at $100,000 a year in revenue, the biggest cost of which is paying the driver. If there's no driver, you've got gigantic potential profit margins on this. If Tesla builds a Cybercab, puts it on roads, and does 50,000 miles a year at $2 a mile, they've done $100,000 in revenue. They've almost certainly paid for the entire vehicle's production cost in a single year with profits. On that $100,000, even if they were making 50%, that's $50,000 and thing probably cost $20 to make. They may double its cost in year one. As for custom-owned Tesla vehicles, if Tesla's taking a 30% cut, and I think it's going to be somewhere in the range of 20 to 30%. It'd be funny if it was 42%, but let's just say it's 30% on the more generous side. If a custom-owned Tesla Robotaxi, like a 3LY that's operating, did 50,000 miles, and obviously the average is probably going to be a lot lower because some people will be adding their vehicle to the fleet just part-time. But let's just say, round numbers again, 50,000, $2 a mile, that's $100,000. If Tesla's taken 30% cut on that, that's $30,000 from a custom-owned vehicle. But even if that vehicle did a fifth that amount, just 10,000 miles, Tesla's cut on that at $2 a mile, still $6,000. This completely transforms Tesla's business. I want to reiterate, if Tesla's already sold a vehicle to a customer, they've made the money up front. they sold the vehicle. There was a profit on the vehicle called Story Bro. But this is recurring revenue. Indefinite recurring revenue, year after year after year after year. It's like a software business, a subscription business, batshit insane. Another thing that's going to happen is if Tesla can solve autonomy and robotaxis awaken, you know what's going to happen to full self-driving take rates? People who today don't see enough utility to spend the money go, hang on a minute, you mean I can spend a few $100 a month and then my Tesla can make me a few $1,000s a month? Oh, am I brain dead? No? Okay. Next minute, they're subscribed to FSD and they're participating in the fleet. The key takeaway, folks, my prediction for 2025 is a massive shift in how people, how investors, how institutions, how analysts, even the finance media see and perceive Tesla, what it is, and how to value the company. As I've said, there is a massive gap today between perception and reality. In 2025, I expect that gap is going to close at least a little. And while this is happening, I'm going to be pointing out that everyone's ignoring the Optimus humanoid robot, but hey, at least it's progress. Speaking of the humanoid robot. So if you own Tesla stock, all I would say is hold the fuck on and make sure you've strapped yourself in. Want more content? Early access? Bunch of perks? Click the links in the pinned comment. AG1 is awesome. I've been taking it daily now for more than 3 years. It's a great way to fill in nutritional gaps. It's packed full of vitamins, minerals, and whole food source nutrients, plus has prebiotics, probiotics, and adaptogens to improve gut health, regularity, and help your body handle stress. I'm always looking for an edge to help me feel and perform my best, which is why I haven't missed a day of AG1 for more than 3 years. Just try it and see how you feel. Click the link in the pinned comment or head to drinkag1.com/SMR and get yourself a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3 plus K2 and 5 travel packs. This is what viewers of the channel had to say after trying AG1. I feel like I have a lot more energy since I started on AG1. Just got my AG1 in the mail. Legit feeling the effects after day 3. 3 months ago, I started AG1 and have been enjoying the evenness of alertness and energy that lasts the day. I just started the wife on it too. Are you convinced yet? I mean, hey, it's worth trying, right? Click the link in the pinned comment or head to drinkag1.com/SMR, or I can keep going. This viewer, after about a month on AG1, definitely a lack of fatigue in the afternoon. Pleasant side effect is that my coffee intake has imploded and is almost down to 0. One more? Yeah, why not? I honestly feel younger and will be continuing to use AG1. This stuff really is crazy good. I didn't think it would be, but this stuff is awesome. It really is what everyone is saying. One more? Don't mind if I do. I've just received my 3rd month supply. I've drank it every day. I have so much energy throughout most of the day. I'm productive, started a new business, started socializing, refurbished a boat. It's no coincidence. Thank you for your persistence, your integrity, and your insights. Now look, these are not my words. These are not my testimonials. This is what you guys and girls are saying. Maybe it's 100% placebo effect. But even if that's the case, I think it's money well spent. Click the link in the pinned comment or head to drinkag1.com/SMR and get yourself a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3 plus K2 and 5 travel packs.